Hello everyone. Namaste to everyone, and I hope everybody is fine and safe. Today is the first day of Navratri. We are beginning with the Navratri festival, and it is the festival of Durga Ma, which also symbolizes the women's strength, women capability, and love and affection of a woman towards good things. So let's start with the blessings of Durga Ma. Our session today about caring and enhancing our pregnancy experience. I guess many of the ladies who have joined are also CDPOs and from health centers and Anganwadis. So you will have to share my experience with the ladies who come there so that they have a very positive change in their pregnancy, during their pregnancy, because pregnancy is an experience wherein the mother as well as the fetus is benefited, and it should be a very nice experience for a mother to have this pregnancy until the delivery and even post delivery. So let's begin our session. If anybody has questions after maybe 15-20 minutes, I will take a break of 1 or 2 seconds and you can ask questions. So what is Garbha Sanskar? Garbha Sanskar is a process of nurturing the baby in the womb. It is also a process of training the baby as well as mother's mind during pregnancy. Now, why Garbha Sanskar is necessary, especially in this era, it is very much important because in the present scenario, every parent or most of the couples, we plan for 1 or 2 children, and everyone expects that we have the best of the child who is power packed, super genius with the best IQ, intelligence. So like right now there is so much of a world of competition, so expectation is very high. Our education level, career, professional life, everything is very much extremely demanding. So that's the reason Garbha Sanskar. What is Sanskar? Sanskar means the some it is gunantara dhanam, or the qualities of the child can be increased with whatever things that we are going to do during this pregnancy, and that's the reason it is called as Garbha Sanskar. And in Ayurveda there are some best practices which are not related to medicine, but with small dietary changes, small kind of exercises, yoga, type of meditation, music therapy, all these can enhance our child's future and as well as give us the best experience during our pregnancy.
Ma'am, the PPT cannot be seen.
You cannot see the PPT?
No, ma'am.
Is it okay now? Can you see?
No, ma'am. No, I cannot see.
PPT cannot be seen.
Ma'am, I don't know. We can see. I can see.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe.
No, ma'am.
I think the slide is on today's world.
Yeah, now.
Yes, ma'am. I can see it, ma'am.
Okay. So everybody can see.
Yes, no, ma'am. I can see.
I cannot see.
You have to pin that presentation. If you pin that presentation, then you can see it.
Yes, I got it, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, it can
Is
be
it
seen.
okay?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So as we were discussing about Garbha Sanskar, today our life is burdened with so much of anxiety in the society. We have to overcome so many hurdles in day-to-day life, and these kind of concepts can give us the best child, whatever we kind of dream about. So to have a suprajana, and it is not only for us, but it is also for the family and for the nation building. So we have to have the best quality of progeny, and that itself in Ayurveda is called as suprajana. Now, what you can expect from Garbha Sanskar, like we see that if generally it is said that if the couple is short, then the child also will not have that height or average height. So if we dream about a tall child, or if the complexion of the couple is not very fair, and we want a very we expect a very fair child, or a medium fair child, then if there are any particular diseases in the family, like genetic history is there, diabetes is there, blood pressure, nowadays we are seeing all these problems are running in most of the families. So these all things can be expected if we have a proper Garbha Sanskar done. Now, some parents would also like to have some ideal person as a child, so maybe some parents will like to have that their child becomes a doctor or an actor or a sports person, or anybody for that matter. So we have to train the womb, or the child in the womb itself, so that we can expect such qualities in our child. Now, if there are also some hereditary problems, like we have seen that cancer problems, epilepsy, leprosy, some skin diseases, mostly they run in the family. So they also can be avoided, and not only in one generation, but next 3 generations can be avoided totally if we follow proper Garbha Sanskar. So this is what we are trying to achieve by doing Garbha Sanskar. Now, what does Ayurveda suggest? Ayurveda has a 4D pregnancy care program. In this 4D pregnancy care program, the first one is preconception care. So suppose if you are not yet pregnant, or if you are just married, if you are planning to have a pregnancy, then preconception care also is equally important. Why? Because see, when we plan for a crop, for example, we need a nice crop of rice field, or maybe a mango tree. What would we do? We should have 4 things in proper condition. That is Rutu, Kshetra, Ambu and Bija. So what is Rutu? That is the season. So suppose if we plant a mango tree in summer season, we'll have to water it well. Maybe the nutrition for the plant will not be enough because the season is not good. So that's why we have to plan for the right season to plant that particular crop. Then second one is Kshetra. That means the choosing of soil or the land that you are going to plant. So this soil also has to be made up equally nutritious, like what we do normally in our plantations. So anybody having a particular yield of crop, we plan the plantation and we try to put some fertilizers. We try to see that the soil is good quality. We see that it is not very not having any too much of moisture, or we see that there is no particular parasite in that soil. So all these things are seen. Similarly, we have to also see in our body also. Then next one is Ambu. Ambu is the nutrition, or actually it means water, but it also has a broader value called as a broader term called as a nutrition. So in nutrition, we have to see that during pregnancy, the whole nutrition of the mother is taken care in a well balanced way, so that the fetus gets the right nutrition. And last one is bija, which is very, very important. So if anybody is still planning for pregnancy or just married, then the bija also can be actually made the way we want. So in that we have to do some shodhana prakriya on the body, like we have to do detox of the body, so that the bija means the sperm and the ovum. So male and female partners shodhan is done, and sperm and the ovum are so that they give the best quality sperm and ovum, and then we plan for conception. So this can be done, suppose if you are planning for conception in December, so we can start from the month of October. So generally the Shuddhi Kriya or the detox of the body takes 1 to 2 weeks, and then next month the couple can plan for pregnancy. Now we plan for our assets, we plan for our insurance, we plan for our investments. So why not we plan for our pregnancy? It is a very, very important step in our life that we are having a new member in the family, and this new member, if this new member is the best what we expect, then we have to plan accordingly. This is the first step of Garbha Sanskar. Now second step is Garbhini Paricharya, means actual antenatal care. That means during pregnancy, whatever diet, in Ayurveda there are again 4 aspects in Garbhini Paricharya. One is the diet, second one is yoga. In that small sukshma vyayam are there. Also there are certain exercises which can help the mind and the body, physical condition of the lady as well as the mind of the fetus. Then there is music therapy, then dhyan is there, meditation is there, womb talking is there. So all these things are taken care during Garbhini Paricharya. Then is intranatal care. In intranatal care, what happens is, it is the actual period of delivery. So that is Prasav Paricharya. So that may last from 8 to maybe 12 to 15 hours. In generally in first pregnancy or first time delivery, normally it lasts for a little longer period. So during this also, there are so many cases that because of improper delivery, the child is affected. So there is either mental retardation or growth retardation because the oxygen to the brain of the child was not enough during delivery, or we say that the child did not cry after delivery immediately. So all these things happen. Why? Because the Garbhini Paricharya was not taken care adequately. So that's the reason the delivery period also is equally important. And last is Sutika Paricharya. In Sutika Paricharya, we have postnatal care. So postnatal care is of course for the child and for the health of the mother, that is around 6 months after delivery. So the breastfeeding comes in that, then the proper nutrition for the mother so that she doesn't have any hormonal problems, she doesn't have any problems with her joints, she doesn't get obese. All these things can be catered during Sutika Paricharya. Now, what are the factors in Garbha Sanskar? The factors, the important factors, because usually we see that if the lady is pregnant, mostly the mother only is taken, that okay, mother has to follow this, mother has to follow that, she has to eat this. But no, in Garbha Sanskar, Saumanasya of the couple, means both the father and the mother has to be involved equally during this pregnancy, because it is a journey towards your heart. Your heart, you can see your heart walking after you give the birth to the child. So it is the man as well as the lady, both of them have to have a proper what you can say dialogue, or Saumanasya, means they should have a proper chemistry between them so that the child grows better and the fetus nutrition is much positive, in a positive way. Now, as I said, we have to always plan the pregnancy. It cannot be by chance, but it has to be by choice. Now, in this, we can also have affirmation, we can have visualization of an ideal person. And I told you about Bija Shuddhi. So all these factors are actually important for Garbha Sanskar to grant a progeny the best Atmaja qualities. What is Atmaja qualities? Means the innate qualities of the child can be developed through the Garbha Sanskar only. You don't have to give later on tonics, supplements, then you give brain tonics because the child doesn't want to study or lacks in studies, but this has to be planned in advance during Garbha Sanskar. So now you may also think that Garbha Sanskar, if it is there since so many, what you can say, years, rather more than 500 years, it is been told in Ayurveda. But in between there was a swipe off and nobody used to follow it so adequately. And that's the reason most of us are not so much aware about Garbha Sanskar. Now, what is the scientific evidence? There are a lot of scientific evidences, lot of researches have been done in most of the developed countries like UK, US, and even there are centers of, antenatal care which actually work on the basis of Garbha Sanskar, and these Western thinkers have also given some best research papers. So there have been found that the pregnant woman thoughts are the mental food influencing the body and mind, the capabilities of the fetus. So evidence is very much there. If we have a best Garbha Sanskar, then you can expect the best child and having the best soul and some same body nourished, so both can be attained. Now, data also shows some retrospective research, like mothers who have a history having during pregnancy, and they were fond of eating sweets, they were fond of eating all junk foods, they were eating all sour food during pregnancy, having chocolates, ice creams, or liking some things which are not good. And this particular habit has been seen developed in the child as well. So this bad habits also are seen reciprocated in the child from the mother. Now, in short, I will just tell you how is the growth of the child. So in the first month, usually the child is like a kalala, we say in Ayurveda, but in modern science it is told as the same. It is like a cyst. It is like a small fluid sac. Okay, there is nothing developed. It is just a sac in the first month. Second month, you can actually see the heart developing. After 6 weeks or so, the heart, the sense organs start developing, and every month then slowly all the organs, the skin, the bones, brain development is seen in the 4th month. So actually in the 5th month, the heart starts beating, and that's the time you can feel, the mother actually can feel the movements of the child. So usually after 5.5 to 6 months, the activities of the fetus can be felt by the mother. So then the mother realizes, and then she says, oh, I think the child is kicking or she is moving. So this is the main period when the mother can actually experience all the fetal resonance, as well as the child can experience the mother's feelings, whatever she talks. So what is happening in the family? Suppose if anybody is shouting, creeping, or any bad things are happening, then it may affect the child also, or the fetus. So that's the reason during this period, especially in the 2nd and the third trimester, the ambience, the environment at home and in the mother's mind also should be good. That's the reason when we were in a joint family, everybody used to say that they used to take care of the pregnant lady like a small child, because they used to take care of her mind. They used to take care, okay, she might feel good, she might not feel good. All these thoughts were there. Our ancestors used to tell us, don't do this, read good books. So all these things, all these qualities actually can be inhibited, and this can pass on to the child. So we have to start right from first month to feel all these things, that the changes happening in our body, and those changes we have to accept and enjoy them. We cannot just accept and don't enjoy them. So that's the reason if we enjoy this journey, is a wonderful journey. It is a lifetime experience for the mother, and the best of the child can be seen, and the progeny our progeny can be the best. Okay, then this is in 7th month. Usually the whole body parts are complete. Most of the central nervous system, respiratory system, all these systems cardiovascular system, all the systems are developed. 8th month is the time when now we are actually in a period of virus. So we know that we are talking so much about immunity, we are talking boosting immunity, enhancing immunity. But what is immunity? Immunity is something which is developed from the 7th month when we are in the mother's womb. So this is the crucial period of the mother to develop the best immunity in the child. Later on, whatever happens in life is just we can enhance, we cannot create immunity. So immunity is something very much innate, and it develops from the 7th to 9th month. So 7th and 8th month are very, very important for us to know that the immune system of the child is getting developed. So in this period, suppose if the mother has any infections, like she has fever or she has a bad stomach infection, all these problems will affect the fetus and the child in future. So the child's immunity can be challenged. So that's the reason the mother has to be extra cautious. Of course, she can have, whenever she is having food, try to avoid outside food. I'll be telling you in the future slides, but try to avoid outside food, not do anything that you're not so much sure about. All these things have to be taken, utmost carefully done, so that the immunity of the child doesn't get hampered. And 8th and 9th month are the months wherein if the mother delivers the child, there is no problem. But 8th month, if the mother delivers the child, then there are chances that because of the immune system, it is still getting developed. It is not completely developed. So there are chances that the child will have low birth weight, will be susceptible to so many infections. Might be there are less chances of better growth of the child. So best is 9th, and after 9th month, the delivery period is post 9th month. So these are the basic months wherein the fetus growth is being explained. Now, what does evidence say about yoga? In yoga, when we practice yoga, now I have told you about, okay, let me ask you if there are any questions. Are there any questions? Hello?
Does anybody want to ask any question? You can even put it on the chat. I think, ma'am, there are no questions.
Okay, so let's see. First step is yoga in pregnancy. So what happens with yoga, because there are so many misconceptions about yoga, that yoga is a form of religion, yoga is to be followed, who is practicing it continuously, and it's nothing like that. Yoga is a form of exercise wherein you attain complete relaxation, as well as your mind, body and soul are connected in a way better way, so that you can lead towards a good future. So why yoga in pregnancy? Like, studies have shown that prenatal yoga program results in benefiting during pregnancy, because not only the psychological aspect of the mother, but also the labor, that means the birth period, when the delivery is happening. In this time also, the discomfort, the pain, the type of different environment that the mother is facing, all this can be encountered in a much better way. Plus, it also helps in the birth weight of the baby. It also avoids preterm labor, means, as I said earlier, the 8th month delivery can also be avoided. So all the adverse effects of pregnancy can be avoided, pregnancy and delivery can be avoided if we practice good yoga. So how does it work on the mother and the baby? So psychologically, as I already said, that it gives a lot of peace of mind, it gives the sense of love, it reduces stress, it gives better sleep to the mother. See, there is a lot of hormonal changes happening in the mother's body. So due to this hormonal changes, there is a lot of heat created, and that's the reason after 5th, 6th, 7th month, the mother is not able to have a sound sleep. But if we practice good yoga and meditation, it actually helps us to overcome all these problems in a smooth way. Then also it helps the bonding between the mother and the baby, because during yoga we also teach something called as womb talking. Means we actually teach the mother how you can talk to your baby and have a nice communication, have a nice interaction. We also teach the father what kind of dialogue the father should have with the baby. So it's a bond development between the child and the family. Then in physical condition, usually adjusting, as I told you, adjusting with the changing physiology of the mother helps due to yoga. How does it help the baby? It creates a positive genetic mutation. As we already discussed, there are a lot of genetic problems happening in our hereditary history. Like some families may have certain problems which are there for generations together. So all these genetic mutations can also be turned into a positive way. It helps for the baby to improve the concentration, increase the creativity, which is very much important in this era, intelligence, memory of the baby. The baby can be seen much more calm and composed. We see that nowadays when we go out with the children, they are all the time so much restless. They want to do this, they want to pick up, they want to throw some things. So these all things can be actually taken care right from Garbhini Paricharya, means during pregnancy. Then proper baby weight can be maintained, heart-to-heart connection and more supply to the brain of the baby can help in intelligence and IQ of the baby. Now next is meditation. Why you should practice meditation? See, when we are practicing meditation, some of the steps we have to understand very cautiously. Like when you are planning to go for meditation, we have to see to it that we are the person who is meditating, like the mother, should try to be alone without having any undesirable person or undesirable environment around her, so that it will not distract her mind. She should also fix a proper time, regular time for meditation. Like today, if you do meditation at 8 o'clock and tomorrow you do in the evening at 6 o'clock, it will actually make a lot of complication in your body, or it may bring imbalance in your body. So that's the reason it's better to fix a time and place, wear loose fitting clothes, take any comfortable position, or Siddhasan, which I have showed. Normal position is Siddhasan position, or you can sit on a chair, you can sit on a couch, anything which is more comfortable to you. Then when you are sitting, after that, try to avoid all the feelings, all the negative contemplations of opposites. Try to avoid all these feelings and make your body come into the meditation posture, so that you maintain a rhythm of breath to harmonize the thoughts, and then you have to watch your breath. Now in this, visual meditation also is a very important aspect during pregnancy, because you must have seen that many of our parents and sisters, they tell to get posters of babies and put in the room, like they get nice posters of a baby boy or a baby girl who is very chubby, nice looking, with nice flowers, or sitting with a nice pose. So why this is all because of visual meditation. When you visualize, those same thoughts come in your mind and they can help to have such kind of a baby. So you have to have a visual meditation also. So make your room a nice place, so that you have all these pleasant things in your room, and every time you can visualize what you would like to have in your future from the child. Now, in the yoga specifically, we have seen for the child, for the mother. It also helps during delivery. As I have already discussed, there are a lot of challenges that a woman faces in her lifetime. But this is the biggest challenge if she doesn't take care of herself properly during antenatal care. So to make this challenge much easier, to have a nice experience, to have this lifetime wonderful experience, the pelvic floor, that is the lower area of the mother, has to have a best strength so that the delivery becomes comfortable and easier. So pelvic floor strength is very important, as when the mother is having a child, bearing a child in the womb, the pelvic muscles become very rigid and also they become weak. So due to that, during delivery, the force that the mother needs to put to deliver a child is not enough, and that's the reason then you or the doctor says you have to go for cesarean. So to develop this floor strength and also to make the muscles better elastic, and to strengthen them, it's better that you do yoga regularly. Now the next part, first is yoga, next is the music. Now music or mantra, what is mantra? Mantra trayate iti mantra means something that conditions your mind. Conditions your mind means now you listen to music, you watch a movie or you read a book. It is type of a feed to your mind. It is something which helps your mind to get conditioned. Like you condition your hair, you condition your body. So how you have to condition your mind also so that you face different challenges easily. So this music therapy helps to condition the mind of the mother as well as the child. Effect of mantra that is seen on effect of music or mantra that is seen on the baby. There are a lot of studies that are happening all over, and I have noted some of the studies that mantras are a solar energy based sounds which resonate in the 0-point field. So mantras reprogram the DNA. You must have heard about genetics, DNA. So these are the things which actually take care of our health. So if our DNA is good, then the child or the fetus will be very good. So we have to, these mantras or music, kind of music, it can reprogram our DNA from negative to the positive side. It can carry, it is a carrier wave with potent information in it. So music helps in carrying the best information from the mind to the body. It also helps to improve the potency or the strength of our chakras. We have 6 chakras in our body, and every chakra has a different function on our body. And the pineal glands. So the pineal glands are the glands which help to actually stimulate all our hormones. So all these pineal glands are also purified, and it raises human consciousness. Now, again, effect of music therapy on the mother. So it relieves stress of the mother. Day to day we are going for work. Even if we are at home, we have day to day challenges to be tackled. So if we listen to music, nice music, I will tell you in the future slide what kind of music a mother should listen. So it helps in relieving our stress. It improves the sattva guna. Sattva guna is something which is a positive energy in the mother needed during pregnancy. So it develops the positive thinking capacity, it develops the positive attitude in the mother so that it helps the child in future. It also develops a lot of creativity. It helps the mother to in her vulnerable exerted conditions to be less stressed. So the new state of body and mind is taken care. Also, yes, it also helps to realize the journey of pregnancy. It develops conscious pregnancy, and it helps the to develop an early bond between the mother and the baby. Now, there are few things which you have to be very, very careful during listening to music. So now I told you, you listen to music. That doesn't mean that you have to listen to rock music or music which is very strong and very loud. Okay, so we have to listen to music which is very soft, melodious, simple melodies, no need of having particular lyrics in it, just meaningful sounds of the family environment, birds chirping, waves in the sea, anything which we would be, relaxed upon is good for the mother. The background sound also should not be more than 50 dB, especially in lower frequencies. So when we are sitting in a place, it should be quiet so that there is no other disturbance and it will not contradict the music that we are listening to. Now there are certain studies done. Dr. Alfred Tomatis claimed that listening to Mozart music in D major increases intelligence and reasoning skills in fetus in utero. So this is also very important. Reasoning skills are very, very important in a child's future to develop. Now, what is balanced pregnancy? We have already discussed some points. So we see here that the mother has to wake up at a particular time because she is pregnant. Sleep until 10 o'clock, sleep until 11 o'clock should not be done. Neither her schedule should be very much imbalanced. Like today I woke up at 5 o'clock and tomorrow I will wake up at 10 o'clock. These type of things should be avoided. Set a good timetable for during this 9 months so that your pregnancy is very smooth. Then every day you have to do some kind of meditation. It can be anything. It can be visual meditation, can be meditation by breathing, can be meditation with good thoughts. So try to meditate at least for 10 to 15 minutes. It can be listening to nice music. Then read good books in the sense Wings of Fire, Abdul Kalam books are there, Sudha Murthy books are there. So something which will make some positive impact on the child. These kind of books should be read. Do all kinds of prayers, whatever you are following, you implement them during your pregnancy. Have a good dialogue with the family, with your husband. So these also will help to build a bond between the child and the family. Have a balanced diet and also go for nowadays, of course, because of all this virus issue, we cannot go out for a nice walk or go to the beach and all, but at least you can try to stroll in the house and also have good social contacts. So why good social contacts? Talk to people whom you are feeling very comfortable, who give you some positive vibes. So see, there are in pregnancy, especially in first pregnancy, I have experienced that, mothers coming and asking me that my friend had called that she had miscarriage at the after 5th month. She had spotting initially, so I also have spotting. I hope I will not also have miscarriage. So all these kind of negative people you should be away from, because they try to give you a negative feeling in your mind and you feel that you are also experiencing it. So try to avoid all this. Something happening to other person, third person, that doesn't mean the same thing will happen to you. So experiences, of course, have to be shared, but try to be away from negative experiences. If there is anything, your doctor will tell you if there is something wrong. So don't Google or don't talk to your friends which will make a negative impact on your pregnancy. Instead, talk something positive, talk something creative, do something creative. Like in earlier days, pregnant ladies used to do this crochet work, used to do embroidery. So these are things which actually help you to get into that creativity and also calm down your mind. So these kind of things should be practiced. Then what are the don'ts? Now the don'ts in pregnancy are very simple. We all know. In our regular life also, we should try to follow these don'ts. Like as I said, all your misschedule, like today you wake up at this time, sometimes you don't wake up, and then evening you do something and next day you don't do. These kind of misscheduling has to be avoided completely, at least in pregnancy. Try to avoid all junk foods, try to avoid overeating, try to avoid stress, try to, of course, smoking. Like in countries like Europe, America, ladies do smoke. That's the reason I put this picture. But smoking, or if anybody in the family is smoking, you have to be away from them or tell them that at least when I am here at home, you smoke outside, don't smoke in the house, because this passive smoking also affects your pregnancy. Try to avoid all kinds of extra usage of gadgets, so try to lessen your screen time, and also try to avoid all negative feelings and negative people. Now, as I said earlier, the pregnancy should be such that we have to plan and execute. Don't simply, if at all, if anybody is still not pregnant, or if you meet some people who are planning for pregnancy, I think you should tell them to plan it nicely, so that it should not be by force, it should be by choice. Otherwise, it's like you go in a hotel and you order something, but you receive something else only. So this experience should not be there to any parent. That's the reason we have to plan the pregnancy in a nice way, so that we have a wonderful experience. Now, many of us are going for jobs, we are doing some kind of service, or we are at home also, we are doing some home service. So when we are going for office job, then try to set a schedule that will not make you hurry going to office, or not make you stressed going to office. So suppose in normal life you would wake up at 7, but in pregnancy you try to wake up at 6:30, so that you have enough time to go to office. You do your activities slowly with calm mind, don't overstress yourself, don't overstress your mind, and leave home early. Why leave home early? Because many a times there are traffic jams, there are some things which are mishappening on the road, so then that will also create stress on your mind and the body. Oh, I will reach late, all these thoughts will come. So that's the reason it's always better to leave home early, so that in between, if there are any problems, you don't have to get stressed. Now, in case if you're traveling daily, try to avoid two-wheeler traveling and try to go with a comfortable journey. Harsh walking job also should be avoided. Many of them, suppose they are working in a supermarket, or also, for example, teachers, if they have to walk for a very big distance, then there should be enough time to walk. It should not be like more than 20 minutes. So if you are walking something which is very fast, brisk walking, it should be avoided. Now, if anybody has a standing job, then intermittent rest every 1 hour, at least for 5 to 7 minutes, you should be resting. So intermittent rest in standing job, like for a teacher, for example, if she's teaching for 45 minutes, then don't take the next period immediately. Wait for, take a gap of 1 period and then go for the next period. So this kind of planning you have to do with your institution. But this is very important, because it will help your child growth as well as not have any ill effects in your pregnancy. Then also long time sedentary work also should be avoided. So if you are sitting in an office, or you're doing some computer work, or you're working from home, don't sit for more than 1.5 hours in one place. Try to take strolls in between, at least for 5 minutes, and then come back to your work. Also, do not do any harsh and stressful work, which I have told you earlier also. Now, why to limit all these junk foods during pregnancy? Because too much of junk food can give you, see, as it is during pregnancy, the mother has to gain weight because the baby is growing in the womb. So it shouldn't happen that you gain excessive weight, and there are complications because of that. So if you gain excessive weight, what will happen? There will be gestational diabetes. This is very, very common problem nowadays, that the mother is suffering from diabetes or detected of diabetes in pregnancy. Then there are problems with sleep, there are problems in birth defects, risk of birth defects increases, miscarriage increases, stillbirth increases if you gain excessive weight. So that's the reason. Junk food is usually made of white flour, sugar, and too much of salt. So all these three items help, or what you can say, they are the ingredients which actually contribute to excessive weight. So that's the reason this junk food has to be avoided. Then baby also starts developing a liking to all these fatty foods. So if we eat, the baby also will have the same liking, and maybe in future it will be a problem for the baby. Then there are genetic abnormalities also seen in parents who have been eating junk foods. So consumption of high fat, sugary diet may lead to peripheral insulin signaling. So that's the reason we see that juvenile diabetes or diabetes at the time of birth in the baby only is found. So all these things has to be avoided, and if this thing happens, it will pass to our next 3 generations. That's the reason initially only we have to be very careful during pregnancy. Now this is the general diet for normal pregnancy. I will tell you the diet also if there are problems in pregnancy. So this is the general diet, like for example, in morning during when you wake up, after you brush, you should try to have navneet. Navneet is white butter, loni. So around 1 teaspoon of white butter should be had. Why this should be had? Because this is very nutritious, and if you have it on empty stomach, it can help the mother not to develop any symptoms of we say that morning sickness. There is vomiting, there is nausea. So all these symptoms can also be avoided. And after that, you can have some 2 of each dry fruits. After that, or suppose if there are no dry fruits one day, then you can also have some rice kheer or rajgira kheer, ragi kheer. We know this tisane we have. So all these things can be had in the morning. Then mid-morning, we should try to have one good fresh fruit. Now this fresh fruit is necessary because vitamin C is important during pregnancy or all throughout our life. But because now we are eating for 2 people, it is for me as well as for my child, so we have to have good amount of fruits, and that should be had in the morning. Why? Because during the first half of the day our digestion is at its best, and that's the reason we should try to have fruit in the morning. Then the next is in general, like afternoon meal should be, then comes the breakfast. So breakfast you can have anything like upma, poha, dosa, whatever you like. You can have. Try to avoid bread. Try to avoid heavy meats. And in afternoon lunchtime you can have vegetable, roti, rice. Some cereal should be there. Cereal means moong, masoor, so that it gives proteins. Fish should be there. Chicken can be added. So every time you have to change here and there. And if you want to have any heavy meat, it should be had in the afternoon and in a smaller quantity as compared to your normal quantity. And at night, the dinner should be very light, so that maybe some fulka, jowar roti, khichdi, some meat can be had, like chicken, piece of chicken, egg, paneer, or green vegetable, half steamed vegetable. All these things can be had at night. And before going to bed, try to have 1 glass of milk with turmeric or with ghee. Now, why this food is important? Because it gives us so many micronutrients which are necessary during pregnancy. I have listed down some of the foods which have some best micronutrients. Like calcium is necessary during pregnancy. So ragi is this almonds, milk, dairy products, green leaves, palm jaggery, poppy seeds, lotus stem, coconut, all these are rich in calcium. Then in iron, there are green leafy vegetables, all kinds of vegetables you can have, black raisins, dates, dry coconut, seeds of pipali, jeera, fish, all this is rich in iron. Next is folic acid. Folic acid is very important in the first 3 months because folic acid actually helps for the proper functioning and the development of the heart, which happens during the first 3 months. So folic acid is very important. So what is rich in folic acid? Pulses like moong, masoor, matki, all these pulses, dals, legumes, spinach means palak, cluster beans, rajma or chauri, all these beans are rich in folic acid. Bhendi, methi, goat liver, so mutton, eggs, sheep liver, all these are rich in folic acid, but we have to have in a proper quantity, adequate quantity. It shouldn't be excess also. Then omega-3 fatty acids are also important for better development of all the organs. So that is walnut, almond, salmon, fish, sardine, flax seeds, kidney beans, all these are rich in omega-3 fatty acids. Now these are few healthy recipes which we can make at home, like wheat dosa, ragi dosa, nachni, ragi is nachni, jowar dosa, mixed millet dosa, bajra dosa, oat dosa, then dosa with dill leaves, dosa with palak, palak paratha, sweet potato paratha, paneer paratha, all these type of things can be made which will help you to get the right nutrition. Idli with spinach, palak rice, methi rice. And these are some of the new recipes which are modern recipes, we can say. So walnut paste pasta is there, almond pasta. Now the pasta has to be of wheat only, not the white flour pasta. Then amla chutney, raw mango chutney, dates laddu. These can be as snacks at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Whole wheat halwa. Then carrot kheer, sabudana kheer, makhana kheer, srikhand. All these things can be had during pregnancy. Now, what is the ideal weight gain? See, you have to see your weight before pregnancy. Suppose if your BMI was more than 18.5, then 12.5 to 18 kg during the whole pregnancy is ideal. So, ideally 10 to 12 kgs in the whole 9 months weight gain is expected. So the first 3 months the weight gain will be very slow. It will be maybe hardly 2 or 3 kilos. In the second trimester the weight gain will be fast, and in the third trimester it will remain balanced. So mostly the weight gain is seen in the second trimester. Around 5 to 6 kgs of weight gain is seen in the second trimester. So altogether, the weight gain should be maximum 10 to 12 kilos. Now, these are some important diet guidelines. Like in Ayurveda, they have it's said that shushka, paryushit, kuthita, clean and ahita ahar should be avoided. That means what in modern terminology or modern lifestyle, that plastic bottles that we are using to drink water should be avoided. Plastic cookware should be avoided. Microwaving of food should be avoided. If done, should be done in glassware. Refrigerated food, reheated food, Teflon coated cookware. So some of the things are happening, you know, by default. We don't do it because we know about it, or we don't do it on purpose, but they are there in our lifestyle on regular basis, and that's the thing, that's the reason they keep happening. So these things we should actually concentrate and try to remove from our daily regimen or daily life, and try to implement some good lifestyle habits. So reuse of cooking oil, like today I made puri in the morning, and whatever oil is remaining I will use again in the evening for dal tadka. So these kind of things also have to be avoided during pregnancy. Caffeine, like too much of having of coffee or tea, all these aerated drinks, you know, packed juices, packed food items, all these things also have to be avoided. Then what are the things which you should do specifically when you're cooking? Wash your vegetables thoroughly, and at least with hot water, and you can add a little bit of salt and turmeric also when you're washing the vegetables, so that there is no infection gone into your body. Now, some of the diet modifications with respect to special circumstances. So these are the things, like for example, if a lady is having hypertension, means pressure, blood pressure problem, she should try to reduce all the sour, salty and spicy food in her diet. She should try to restrict all packed snacks. No, like as I told you, all types of packaged snacks should be avoided. Include more fresh vegetables, boiled vegetables. Include more potassium rich foods like chana, you know, then methi, nachni, wheat, cowpea is one, we say chickpea also. So these kind of food items can be included. Suppose if the lady is already having diabetes, blood sugar problem, then try and avoid completely bakery products. Otherwise also in normal pregnancy it is obviously good that you avoid bakery products. Less sugary diet, regular and small meals. So normally I said that morning breakfast and then again 11 o'clock there will be fruit and then lunch. But in diabetes patient, or if the lady is having diabetes, then she should have small meals. So every 2 hours or so she can replenish her body by having small meals. And fiber rich diet. Now fiber rich diet includes all types of vegetables, raw rice, unpolished rice. All these things can be taken, and include complex carbohydrates with low GI index. So these are like nachni, oatmeal, foxtail millet. These items should be included if the lady is already having diabetes. Now what you have to avoid specifically during pregnancy, like night awakening work. So if you are, suppose if you are going on night duties, that you have to avoid during pregnancy. Most of the ladies at home also practice night awakening because they want to watch a movie, or they are on the screen for a long time on the phone, or they want to do something else because they are not feeling sleepy because in the afternoon they have slept enough. So don't do that. You can reduce your afternoon sleep, but try to sleep as early as possible, maximum 10 to 10:30 in the evening. At night you have to go to bed. Why? Because after 10:30, from 12 to 4 is your repair mechanism. Your body is going under repair mechanism. So all the cells are getting repaired. And during pregnancy, they are overworked, they are over challenged. If this repair mechanism doesn't happen properly during this night, then what will happen? It will affect naturally the growth of the baby. After 4 a.m., 4 to 5 a.m. is the stimulation that is happening. So there are good hormones stimulated in your brain, and if your sleep is delayed, then this also gets delayed, and maybe it will not happen because again you wake up by 7 or 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, and this stimulation of good hormones will not happen. So cortisol, which is not a good hormone, which is actually a stress hormone, is more developed in the brain, and that actually can harm your whole process of pregnancy. So try to sleep as early as possible, maybe maximum by 10:30. Leave home with heavy breakfast. Suppose if you are planning to go to a doctor, visit a doctor, or you are planning to go for shopping or go anywhere, then you have to see to it that your stomach is filled, so that you don't have to buy anything outside. You don't have to be dependent on outside food. Then if in case you are going for work, tiffin should not contain only, because nowadays when we are going for work, we have this habit of taking only dry foods, like vegetables, chapati, only dry food will take. No, but during pregnancy, you should also have something liquid. So buttermilk, lemon, or a fruit, milk, dal, something like that has to be included in your regular food if you're taking a tiffin. Food should be hot enough when you're having, and if long time passes between lunch and dinner, then you should have something in between, especially for office working ladies. And early dinner and proper sleep in time is very much necessary. Now these are some of the recipes which I have noted down. Amla chutney, we all know we have amla enough at our place, so amla chutney is there. Then raw mango chutney, because it is a Goan food, it is very easy to make. So during season we can have this chutney. Then we have some recipes like almond kheer is there. So you make small pieces of almond, soak them in water, peel off the skin, and then add sugar, milk, and cook on low flame. If you want, you can add elaichi, kesar, ghee to it, so that it gives better taste. Makhana is also a very rich source of protein and very easy to digest. That's the reason makhana foxnut is actually advised during pregnancy. Similarly, like almond kheer, you can also make makhana kheer. These are some of the regular things which we have in our food, but most of the times we forget about them. Moong dal halwa is there, sabudana kheer is there. Then snack recipes, like we can make dry fruit laddus, we can make whole wheat laddus, we can make moong laddus, we can make rava laddus. So these kind of laddus will help us during the snack time. Now, Dauruda is also one important step during pregnancy. We all know, and specifically it comes during the 4th and the 5th month. So, what is Dauruda is the type of craving that the mother has, and specifically it is seen after the 4th month. So, if this craving is not satisfied properly, then it is also not. It's also going to harm the mind or the brain of the child. That's the reason Dauruda has to be taken care very properly, very much attentively. So during Dauruda, so to have a better Dauruda, these kind of things has to be given for the mother. Like give cooked rice in the afternoon with curd, have milk and milk with ghee. Then sometimes at night you can have everyday milk with ghee. So these recipes can help better the Dauruda in the mother. Also, you can add meat soup in the afternoon or in the evening. You can add pez, kanji we say, yavagu, rice grill can be added, and egg also can be added in the mother's diet, especially in 4th and 5th month. Very important. This is an important slide, although it is very small. Why Garbha Sanskar is not only necessary for better child, but it is also necessary so that the child effects, tamasic effects, means the bad effects, ill effects of the child are not transformed into a bad society, and also they are not taken into our generations in future. So that's the reason Garbha Sanskar is a very important aspect during pregnancy, and if done in a nice way, it can turn into a wonderful experience not only in pregnancy but for the whole life for the child and the mother. Now, these are the various assessments that you already do during your antenatal period during pregnancy. So these are normally the clinical assessments that doctors do, like clinical assessment of growth, ultrasound, non-stress test, contraction, blood test, nipple stimulation, modified biophysical profile, means blood test, Doppler studies, fetal lung maturation studies, placental grading. All these studies are done by the doctor during pregnancy. So they start usually on the 2nd month, during the 2nd month until the 9th month, one by one, whenever necessary, doctor will advise them. These are some of the music videos that you can actually listen to while when you're relaxing, or when you have enough time, when you're a little bit relaxed and don't have much things to do. At that time you should try to listen to some of these music which are very important, like Garbha Samvardhini music is there, Rakshambika, Garbha Rakshambika Stotra is there, relaxing music to make baby kicks in the womb brain development, baby kicking music is there, Mozart for babies brain development music is there. So these are some of the YouTube links which you can actually listen to. Now, thank you so much for listening to me very patiently, and I hope that you all will pass on this message. If you are pregnant, you will try to follow most of these things. If you want to really practice this Garbha Sanskar in a detailed manner, because this is a very wide topic and it cannot be explained in 1 hour, but I wanted you to give an outline that why it is important, how it is important, and what difference it can make in your life and in the future of your child, because childbirth is an important experience in woman's life, and this should not have any negative impact on the child as well as the maternal health. So anxiety, loss of mind, tranquility leads to difficult labor. That's the reason we have to try to be very calm, composed during pregnancy, which will help us to lead to an uneventful, easy, normal labor. So certain practices like yoga, relaxation therapy with music are very important in the contemporary medical science, which will help you to give the best experience during pregnancy as well as during delivery. That's the reason Ayurveda has advocated this concept of Garbhini Paricharya. So this is my address, and this is my phone number and my Gmail, my email ID. You can contact me on this, or you can take an appointment in case if you would like to actually go ahead with the Garbhasanskar training. It doesn't include any medicine. It is just a lifestyle concept which tells you about the best diet practices, best yoga practices, meditation, and music. Thank you so much. And if you all have any kind of questions, you are free to discuss with me.
Thank you, doctor.
बस 3 दात असलेले
होय
नुसत्या
दात मिळते.
So any questions? सगळ्यांना कळले किती सांगले ते?
होय होय डॉक्टर. Hello, ma'am. Hello,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yes,
You
yes,
said
yes.
just now, no. Ma'am, you said just now, no. We can take milk with ghee.
Yes.
Hot milk and ghee.
Yeah, warm milk. It shouldn't be very hot also. मातशें अशें दुधदुधीत दूध and 1 teaspoon of pure ghee, not dalda or nothing like that. घरा केल्लें तूप असता पळय, नाजाल्यार अमूलचे बी घी मेळटा ते 1 teaspoon घालपाचे. Because it is very
At night, रातचे
yeah,
घेवप.
at night, हय रातचे.
हा, okay, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello,
Yeah.
doctor.
Yes, Girija.
I just wanted to ask. I just wanted to ask a question. If even during the I'm right now at the 5th month of my pregnancy,
Okay.
and I still have the vomiting sensation, and
Okay.
if I have fish, so actually I used to like fish before, but now I still have the vomiting sensation. Or sometimes if I eat it unwantedly, then I actually vomit whatever I've already had. So I had heard that this thing happens till third month, but is there any medication of anything to avoid this?
Yeah, these things happen usually until third and fourth months. It will continue, but this is continuing because the hormones are still not established completely. So what you can do is pomegranate. Dalim astane pomegranate. You can take pomegranate and chew after every 1 hour, maybe 2 or 3 teaspoons of pomegranate. You can just take and chew them so that this sensation of vomiting will come down. As well, it will help you to have enough folic acid so the nervous system will not get irritated. So this practice you can try. Also, you can have little bit of kokum water, kokum.
Okay.
So before lunch, half an hour before, you have half cup of kokum water. So then you can have lunch or your breakfast. Only thing, you should not have milk immediately after kokum water or after pomegranate. Huh?
Oh, okay, doctor.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Ma'am, there was one question. Why did legs get pain on 4th or 5th month? The break of pregnancy.
Yeah. So, see, as we approach 4th or 5th month, the size of the womb starts getting bigger and the blood circulation is not enough. Okay, because suddenly the size of the stomach starts getting bigger. So to have this good blood circulation, that's the reason yoga practice is very important. So the pelvic floor strength, what I mentioned, म्हणजे सकल्ले भाग जो असता न्ही ताजी स्ट्रेंथ कमी असता आणि जेन्ना आमी प्रेग्नंट जाता तेन्ना त्या प्रेशरान ते पाय दुखपा लागता. म्हणून ते योगा रेग्युलरली करपा जाय आणि सांजे वॉक करपा जाय. Even at home, you can just keep your legs straight and try to do some sukshma vyayam. So all these things you will have to inculcate during pregnancy.
डॉक्टर, हॅलो डॉक्टर. डॉक्टर, म्हाका क्वेश्चन एक आसा. डॉक्टर, ते लूत मारता म्हणटा पळय, लूत मागीर ते मेडिसीन बी कितें घालता म्हणजे
गांवठी वखदां कितें घालता ते कित्याक लागून अशें म्हणून?
लूत मारता इज बिकॉज ऑफ युअर hormonal चेंजीस जाता आमच्या बॉडीन भरपूर आणि ताका लागून ब्लड म्हणजे आमी आता एवरी मंथ एक्चुअली मेन्स्ट्रुअल सायकल असता न्ही ड्युरिंग प्रेग्नन्सी ती बंद जाता सो सगळे ब्लड भितर उरता आणि ताका लागून थोडे ब्लड इम्प्युरिटीज जावन हॉर्मोनल डिसबॅलन्स जाता म्हणून ते लूत मारता सो आफ्टर तुजी डिलिव्हरी जाली काय ना की मागीर ते कमी जातले ऑटोमॅटिक पण जर व्यवस्थित डायट जो आता हांवें सांगलो तो जर फॉलो केलो जाल्यार ड्युरिंग प्रेग्नन्सी ऑल्सो इट कॅन बी अवॉइडेड.
ओके डॉक्टर, थँक्यू डॉक्टर.
So somebody has asked, is there any special care should be taken during IVF cases? So no, even if it is IVF, natural pregnancy, any kind of pregnancy, the care during pregnancy is the same. Will you do one webinar on PCOD? Yes, I will. I can do, because PCOD is one of the major cause of not getting pregnant or having a lot of hormonal issues. So definitely I will plan, and we can definitely have one webinar on PCOD. Why do pregnant women do vomit during first trimester? So as I explained earlier also, there is a hormonal change happening from the first month. See, although it is our own baby, it is something foreign for the body. Okay, so when something foreign in our body is growing, there is usually a reaction to that foreign material, and to get adjusted, the body has to get adjusted, and it needs time, and for that the vomiting sensation is there. But it can be controlled. As I said, it can be controlled with certain dietary prospects, like I told you, pomegranate can be had morning, afternoon, evening, little by little. You can have lime sarbat, not soda. You can have lime sarbat. You can have kokum sarbat in between. Amla chutney is good during lunch. So these kind of things can avoid too much of vomiting sensation which is there in the body. When should we start and stop having folic acid tablets before conception? So before conception, usually folic acid is given so that the endometrium is developed well, and if there is any problem of getting conceived, folic acid is started. So even if you have after pregnancy also, folic acid tablets are continued, and until at least 5th month, folic acid tablets are necessary, because folic acid is the main ingredient which is necessary to take care of pregnancy. Okay. Does puberty lifestyle has a direct effect on pregnancy? It's a very good question, Shreya Naik. So yes, definitely puberty lifestyle, not only puberty lifestyle also during our Rajasrav, means when we are having menstrual period, if we are not following proper, there is a specific regimen to be followed even during menstruation for girls, and if this is followed in a proper way, so many problems can be avoided, like PCOD, endometriosis, problems during pregnancy, good childbirth. That's the reason, to avoid all these problems, as I told you earlier also, preconception vidhi have to be followed. That's the reason we do this. Suppose if a couple is planning for pregnancy, to avoid all these ill effects which are happening during the puberty life, we do this detox initially before you plan for pregnancy. But if you practice good lifestyle even during puberty, definitely it's going to have a positive and a very good impact. And if you don't have this proper lifestyle, it's going to definitely have a negative impact in pregnancy or on the child. Is new screening necessity? Means I didn't get your question. Does having milk in 3rd trimester good? See, having milk in 3rd trimester is good, provided you don't have any vomiting sensation or you are not having any problems like nausea and all, but milk is advised during the whole of 9 months. Will it affect the weight of the baby? So that's the reason I said that don't go for any junk food. Basically, weight increases with junk food and not with foods like milk and egg and all. So we are trying to have all this junk food, bakery products, sweets. So these kind of things should be limited and have nutritious food like milk, a small piece of meat or a small piece of fish every day, which will actually help the nutrition for the baby as well as for the mother. Newborn screening necessity means during the 5th month, you mean to say, Shreya? What is done during the 5th month? I didn't get your question. So yes, Rajiv, I think we are done.